Actually, I really have like a few questions. One is, let's say, about your history, because I know that you are one of the oldest organic olive oil mills in the world. You started this when this was not a trend like it is now. And I know that it was actually hard for you to start. And I would ask you how you started it, why you went organic, and how did the business grow over time?
Well, thank you for the question. I think is a really interesting one. Well, our family has been involved for generations in farming. We are farmers for 7 generations in the driest area in the whole Europe. We have more than 3,000 hours of sunshine per year and less than 200 liters per square meter of rain. So it's a really, really hard environment. My grandfather's been involved, especially in cereal and and cattle animals like goat, sheep, and also almond trees. And they had also olive trees, but it was not the main activity for them in the back in the time. So my father in the 90s, early 90s, decided to reconsider the type of farming we were doing because it was not profitable anymore. So changed to a different thing. So in the time back in the time, olive trees was a trend in Spain, but our place is very dry, and we didn't have really the best conditions to produce a lot. We struggle with the water. It's a limiting factor here. So we decided from the first day. My father said, "Okay, we need to do something different. We need to do olive trees, but in a different way. We are not going to follow the line in the 90s, producing more, increasing the productivity. Was the more interesting thing because the price for the olive oil was even higher than it's today in the market. And the price for everything, diesel, costs, everything was lower. So it was very interesting to produce more liters. So we completely forgot about that because we say, okay, we're in a desert. We're never going to have huge yields. Trees produce good fruit, but not a lot of fruit. From the first day, he decided to go organic. It was not a trend back in the day. People absolutely believe we were crazy because in a desert, organic production is not going to work. But finally, we didn't change very much strategy. We follow on in the quality. The strategy was simple, was quality, sustainability, not only environmental as organic, but also sustainability for a family to be economically sustainable also. And so we designed the farm. We planted trees from the 95 till the 2005. So, slowly during 10 years, not all at once because it was a lot of money, and also because we were producing and as in the way we were selling. We established the olive mill in the 99, so it's 20 years now, 21, 22 years, and the farm 25 years ago, organic since the first day. So in the organic farming certification was started in 91, we were organic certified in 95. So it's now been 26 years. So probably not the first one, definitely not the first ones in Andalusia, but in Almeria we were kind of pioneers, and we are happy with that. I mean, we think we found or we choose the right solution because now it's very trending, which is good. But we definitely think we tried to make something different, something steady, quality, sustainability. Yeah, that's the history more or less.
Yeah, it's actually very, very interesting. And of course, maybe you're not the first, but I think you were one of the most successful ones because year after year, you have very good oil, you get prizes. Actually, people are really, liking your oil and awarding your oil, which means you do a great job, right?
Well, when we started learning too. I mean, we were coming from a world of farming, but not from a world for specialized in olive oil production. So me and my brother, which is in charge of the production, we were learning to taste, tastings and all that. So we went to Jaén, Cordoba. Luckily, we are not far away from the main olive oil production regions of Spain, and we were lucky enough to have really good teachers to learn how to taste and how to improve and how to, it was the movement in that moment to start doing high quality olive oils. And some partners think, okay, in your region, you will never get the same quality than Cordoba or and we said, okay, we don't know, but we were going to try. It is always the spirit to improve. If you don't have the spirit to improve, that is also enhance us to grow. Right now we sell to 33 countries in the world, maybe 34 now with Romania, and we are always improving, just in the base of doing fair, high quality, true product. And then luckily we are also recognized in awards. We do our best, we present to the awards, and we have been recognized for the last 10 years in many places, which makes us very proud and happy. But to be honest, if we will not be there, the product will be still very good, but it's helping us to promote, to especially with the people who don't know us, don't know our company, to know us because of that kind of promotion. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
been
actually a very good way to promote your very good olive oil, right? And talking about varieties, right? You have two varieties that I actually am very interested in myself. One is Lechin, right? One is the Picual de Almeria, which is Picual is, let's say, the most known in the world, because probably it's the most, let's say, in tonnage of olive oil, probably it has the most quantity. But Picual de Almeria actually is not Picual. And
no.
I wanted to ask about these two varieties because it's very different from what I've saw anywhere, Lechin and the Picual de Almeria varieties.
Okay, well, very good question too. Thank you. It's two very local, unique varieties from our province, because we grow all the three. Arbequina, Picual, Hojiblanca, that are very common Spanish varieties that produce wonderful oil. There's no discussion about that. Very productive. Very well. That's why they spread over the world, because especially Arbequina is everywhere, and also Picual in Spain is the leading productivity. But these two varieties, Lechin, and Lechin is not exclusive from Almeria, but mainly in Almeria. It's also in Granada and also in Murcia, which is two provinces by the side of ours. It's called Lechin de Granada, really, but we just call it Lechin to avoid the people think that olives come from far away. But anyway, it's grown here too. It's a local variety from the ancient olive trees here, and it used to be the most successful because the adaptation to the dry climate, the lack of rain. It's a tiny olive, and it's very hard to harvest. It's late in ripening, and it produces a fruity, soft, delicate oil, which is a bit spicy, not too pungent. And it's very similar. It can be an alternative to the people who like soft oils. It can be an alternative to people who likes arbequina, manzanilla, these, or Italians from the north. Tajasca. This kind of soft varieties that they're fruity, fits well with the fish and all that. And it's very uncommon for the people to make it separate, because very often the farmers around, or even in our farm, we have less trees, this kind of trees, we have less than the others. But still, Lechin is a variety you can find usually. So it's not difficult to produce a certain amount of oil from that variety, because it's the most common variety from all trees in Almeria. Then the other one, Picual de Almeria, it has a bad name because Picual de Almeria makes the people confuse it with the regular Picual, which is a wonderful variety. It's the most common. We also grow that. And it's also produced in Jaén, in Cordoba, in north of Malaga, Granada, everywhere in Andalusia. But Picual de Almeria is exclusive from Almeria. You cannot find it in any other place. It's a variety also from really ancient olive trees, but it's less productive than Lechin. It's less interesting in the agronomics than Lechin. That's why the old farmers used to have few of them, and not to enhance very much the production, because it's very difficult to harvest. It produced very low quantity of olives. But it was definitely, some people had it because combined with the Lechin, they cross over the pollination. Sometimes the olive trees to produce, it's not enough with their own pollen. They need pollen from other plants, other varieties. So to have a few of the Picual of Almeria improve the productivity of the Lechin, So that's why they have these two varieties, but focusing more on the more productive one, which is the Lechin. So Picual de Almeria is right now a treasure. No other company in Almeria is doing it separate. We are the only one, and we are doing only for the last 3 years, because we struggle to find farmers that we work with, because this is not coming exclusively from our farm. This one is also what we are cooperating with other farmers that they are already customers, but they have a few. Maybe some of them, they have 10 trees, others have all of them in the mountains, very high in the mountains, 800 meters, very high. And these trees are disappearing simply. So for us, it was a project to maintain the variety, to keep genetic of one treasure. And the oil it gives is very different from the rest of our range. It's a very like herbs. It's a medium fruity, you know. It's more ripe than green in the aroma, but this in the flavors have certain character. It's not the more intense, but it's a kind of in the median of the range, of intensity of our oil. So it's similar to hojiblanca in the intensity, but it's definitely very different in the nose. It smells like nuts, like herbs, you know, rosemary, these things. It's it's a very good oil. It's a very different oil. You may love it, you may don't like it. Because it's very different from the rest of the range. If we need to say from our whole range, even Lechín, if we put in another Arbequina, Lechín, Hojiblanca, they have certain things that they are in common. Maybe it's the region, maybe it's the way to produce, maybe it's the moment of harvest. This is because really in the mountains, because the rest of plantations we have in 500, 600 meters, and this one is 800, it's really upper, and really old trees and different variety, and ripening very late too. So it makes the variety to be very different. So yeah, it's a project. It's beautiful. We make only 2,000 bottles, so it's very limited. And yeah, that's more or less the difference.
Can I ask you, usually, how do you use the origin, this type of olive oil from the Picual de Almeria? How do you use it on food? What kind of food? How does it work?
Well, this one is, as I said, lechín is very good for fish, or very good for things you want to give it soft. This one is have its own character, so it's very good, in my opinion, for sausages, or when you use it with cured meats. You can also use on the meats, but when it's finished, carpaccios. That's my opinion. It works very well with meat, with things that they have, because it has its own taste of like herbs, you know. It's like when you drizzle rosemary on the meat, or thyme, or it's just the same idea. Just the oil makes that thing to the meat. So in my opinion, it works very well with these kind of things. Of course, you can use it raw, simply with the bread or something. Like any range of our oils, premium oils can be used just with the bread or salad. But this for everyone, the kind of standard. But we more specific, in my opinion, will work very well in this kind of ham, cheese, cheese also, but especially cured meats. In my opinion, it works very well with.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, one last question, if I may. Can you send a message to the Romanian customers having to try for the first time your olive oils? What would you say to them?
Well, you know something, I will say the quality for us, it's not a trend. It's just a way to be. And the price is just a result. It's not the objective. I mean, certainly when you produce good things, you need to sacrifice a lot of things. You need to sacrifice the costs. You need to sacrifice many things. And it means that at the end of the day, it's a price for the oil. But it's worth to have it, because you know something, olive oil is fat. We need not a lot of fat, but we need fat in our diet. Olive oil, you use just 2 tablespoons per day is enough. It's going to help you, and it's not expensive because it's not wine. Wine is a wonderful product, but you're going to drink a glass. You're never going to use that quantity of fat per day. So yeah, try. I think our oils are very different from others. No, I would not say better. I would just say different, because of the origin, because of where they come, how we make them. We're really proud of that. And I think when you taste, you have a small taste of the desert in your palate. So I definitely try the people to hope to enjoy, or when I have the idea that the people, when they use the product, use the oil, it's like they're feeling the environment and the people behind it.